to run Eleri with you here on BBC Radio Wales, and I am going to put it out there right at the very beginning. I reckon our first guest today has the making of becoming the new Mother Teresa. Rinal Patel is from Tontig near Pontypridd, who left a glamorous job working with A-list celebrities like Angelina Jolie to help people less fortunate than herself. She's travelled all over the world giving talks about human rights and the environment, and last year set up a charity called Pursuit of Happiness, working alongside organisations such as Amnesty International. Unsurprisingly, she was recently nominated for a St David Award in Cardiff for this year's actually ceremony 2 weeks ago for all that she has done. And that's just for starters. I'm delighted to say that Rinal joins us now. Welcome to BBC Radio Wales. How are you?
I'm good. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, can I just say how excited I am, because I was at the ceremony last Thursday night when you were nominated for one of the categories for all your work abroad, of course, helping others less fortunate than yourself. And your story really gripped us. Just watching the film and you explaining what you've done and the big change and the different pathway you've taken. And people are saying, she's like the new Mother Teresa. And she's from Tontig. It was so lovely, you know. So it's an honour to meet you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, let's turn the clock back to 2013. Tell us what you were doing as a job in London.
So I started at the age of 23 until 30. I worked for celebrity agents and also film companies in London and also in Australia. I took 2 sabbaticals. So I worked in London with celebrities like Ed Sheeran, Halle Berry, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mike Tyson, Sienna Miller. In Australia, Angelina Jolie, Hilary Duff, Miley Cyrus. So there's red carpet premieres, after-show parties, entertaining talent as they call it, which is dinner and drinks with the celebrities. So that was very much what my life was during that period of time.
And how well did you get to know the celebrities?
Quite well. Jean-Claude Van Damme would call me quite a lot on my mobile phone. He's a really funny man. Yeah. And yeah, I was really inspired by people like Angelina Jolie. She's a very humble person. She always treated everybody equally in her professional work, and she always used her position and her status in a positive way to help vulnerable people. And I thought that was really beautiful.
And did she inspire you as a humanitarian?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, there's so many famous people who inspire me. Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, I think that the celebrities that use their status in a positive way are all really inspirational people. But yeah, I mean, she said something beautiful about how she's a proud patriot, but also an internationalist. And that every human rights person she believes is. And I think it's very true. That's very much how I feel as well. I'm very proud of being Welsh, but I also consider myself as an internationalist and see the suffering of others as my responsibility too.
Yeah, but we see it and we empathise, but we don't give up our jobs in order to physically help change other people's lives. This is what you've done. So tell us that moment when you thought, this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to take a different pathway in my life.
I think the seed was planted during my work. So I reached the level of communications director. I worked for a great film company, and they really supported me. So they allowed me to do things like celebrity charity screenings for disasters like Haiti, which Sienna Miller was involved in. And I was also a director for a charity in Africa, which helped child soldiers. But I was very aware that I didn't really understand the issues facing vulnerable people because I was working from a different country. And I also wasn't happy, and I got to a point where I had like a high status, I was earning a lot of money, I was working with A-list celebrities, everything that I thought brought happiness, and it kind of caused me to question the notion of happiness, which is what spurred me to donate what I had to international charities and set off on a very small budget to a continent I knew nothing about, where they spoke a language that I didn't know at all, Spanish. And that's kind of how it happened.
So when you say you gave up your job, you gave up your wages, didn't you? You put a considerable amount of your wages.
Yeah.
And also a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
My goodness me. Right. So where did you go first?
So I started in Peru and I volunteered in an orphanage with victims of abuse. And then I ended up in the Amazon region where I worked with victims as a social assistant with the Office of Social Services. It was really intense because I couldn't speak Spanish at the time, and they put me in in situations where I was with very vulnerable people. But it completely opened my mind and changed my perspective because it made me realise that my problems were so minimalistic in comparison. And the people in Latin America are so beautiful. They have like such open minds and open hearts, and not just Latin America. I taught English to refugees from Myanmar, and one beautiful incident I remember is the students like looked at me and said, "Teacher, why are you here? You are from a country where you have everything. Why would you come to this remote area of Thailand to teach us English?" I just felt like so truly humbled by it. People can read more about these stories on my blog if you put my name into Google or look at my social networks. It's really easy to find, and if you're interested, support my charity projects. But yeah, so the seed was set during that time, and
you know what's interesting? You became a communications director, but then you had to relearn, didn't you? Teach yourself again how to communicate in a different way.
yes.
And from Peru, you then went to Bolivia, didn't you?
Yes.
And then you also went to Brazil and to the slum area, the flavellas. As we know, extreme poverty. Just describe the conditions that people live in the favelas.
So this was my recent project that I did last year. It was quite scary because you have guns on every street corners and like little babies just, like standing next to a man with a big rifle, and that's just normal everyday life. And then you leave the favelas and you've got the police on the outside. There's like a big conflict between the police and the people in the favelas. But the children are so inspiring. So I arrived and one of the counsellors was coincidentally shot the day that I arrived. So my host was
counsellor. Right.
Maria, it was on international news. She was a human rights activist, but she was a counsellor as well, and she was talking in places like the favelas. So I arrived and I was planning to talk about human rights, and my host said to me, "No, I don't recommend you do that because you could be putting your life at risk, especially in places like the favelas." So I changed the subject to sustainability and the environment. But it was really inspiring. So these little 6-year-olds from the favelas, I asked them the question, what will happen if we don't look after the environment? And one of them, the youngest one, looked to me and was like, "We will die." And it's basically, it's the end result of it. It's a long way off, but I was like, wow, you're pretty clued up. And I guess because they're so dependent on their natural environment that they have like quite an innate understanding of things, it really inspired me.
Well, you're inspiring us just listening to you. Stay with us. We'll chat more with Rinal Patel, and we'll do so after this lovely, powerful song from a lady called Jasmine Power from our Welsh A-list. And this is a track called The Verge of the Unknown. Quite apt for you as you step into the world of the unknown. Hey? Because you don't know what